Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, Bryan Evanson from the Bloatarian Brewing League in Cincinnati, Ohio, joins us to talk about an amazing, long-running, keg-only homebrew competition, the 38th annual Beer and Sweat. Sort of like club night at HomebrewCon, without the conference attached. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing. Thanks to everybody who's helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of the stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. This past week, I posted to subscribers the video episode that I'm going to release to the general public on Friday. It's the one that Steve Wilkes and I shot about my French hop saison. That beer turned out pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Along with the early release, financial supporters also got a behind-the-scenes video that I shot by the brewpot and the recipe for the beer as well. A reminder, I've got brewers' logbooks in stock at basicbrewingshop.com. I put mine to use yesterday as I brewed my response to the Mash Your Luck Challenge. That show is coming up in a couple of weeks. No spoilers, but I did use Imperial Yeast A10 Darkness, which will give you a clue about what I rolled for one section of the challenge. Last week, Steve and I picked up the ingredients for that beer from Dave over at Small Batch Boutique over in the Tulsa area. We went to Tulsa to attend the Fellowship of Oklahoma Ale Makers, or FOAM, meeting, as they took on the Mash Your Luck Challenge. You'll hear that in a few weeks on the program. They did it a bit differently because everybody, there were 7 teams, everybody rolled separate rolls. So we got to taste 7 different Mash Your Luck beers as part of the, and it was chosen by the crowd. So very, very fun, and that was a great trip. Also got to visit with Desiree at Dancing Skeleton Meadery, which was fun. It's, man, good meads there. At that FOAM meeting, representatives from the 28th Annual Wild Brew Craft Beer and Restaurant Festival spoke. That's a huge event happening on August 22nd in Tulsa. Along with hundreds of beers, live music, and live demonstrations from local artists, you'll be able to have a meet and greet with a live bird. That's a first for me at a beer event, and bird meaning actual bird. Anyway, you can go to nice guys from Wild Brew. You can go to wildbrew.org to find out more about that. And that's happening on August 22nd in Tulsa. Speaking of beer festivals, time to brew you a delicious lager for the fall festival season with LO2 Fest from our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast. From now through August 14th, Imperial's highly requested LO2 Fest is available in pitch-right homebrew pouches. Whether you're brewing a classic Märzen, Oktoberfest, Bock, or another clean, malt-driven lager, LO2 Fest delivers the performance that you can count on. You know we love Imperial Yeast with those 200 billion cells in each easy-to-open package and a recommended shelf life of 4 months. I like to say my stir plate is dusty because I don't use it anymore to make starters for moderate-gravity 5-gallon ale batches like my stout. My Mash Your Luck beer, which is fermenting very happily this morning after pitching yesterday, and the airlock smells great. Ask your local homebrew store about LO2 Fest from Imperial Yeast and check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. It's imperialyeast.com. Okay, let's talk to Bryan Evanson of the Bloatarian Brewing League about the 38th annual Beer and Sweat keg-only competition. Bryan Evanson, welcome to Basic Brewing Radio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're president of the Bloatarian Brewing League in Cincinnati, Ohio. So tell us about your club.
So we are the oldest homebrew club in Cincinnati, founded in 1987. We've uh, for a number of years had Dan Listerman from Listerman's Brewing was a member of the club, and when he started the homebrew shop, that became one of the first became a common meeting place for us there. So really from the beginnings, really strong connections with the business end of the brewing community.
Now, I was looking through our video archives because we went to the National Homebrew Conference. Steve and I did back in 2008, which
Yes.
it
Yes.
seems like forever. And if you look at what we looked like back then, it looks like it was forever ago. and,
Yes.
and we showed during club night, we featured y'all's booth, and there standing at the booth was Dan Listerman. It was like, I forgot we saw Dan there at the thing.
Yes. I have fond memories of that conference.
And you were involved in the organization at the time.
Yes, I was secretary at the time, so it was, and we were the main organizing club for the homebrew conference that year. And so there's a lot of planning and phone calls and other things to get things running that week.
And at that time, we interviewed Gary Glass, who's at the head of the AHA at the time. And he said he was all excited because it was the largest conference ever. We'd just broken records for attendance, and it was around 1,000, which, it was eclipsed later, by other conferences that were more like 3,000 or 3,500. Now we're back to, I think they said the attendance at this year's conference in Asheville was back down to like 1,100. But that seems to me, I mean, back then, 1,000 seemed like a lot of people. But now, like 1,100 or 1,000 seems like a more manageable size. It seems like to me that I like the smaller conferences. But, you guys, a lot of work goes into putting those together. We talked to another organizer, Rob Westendorf, maybe.
Yes, Rob Otzendorf.
And he said that y'all had been working on, the preparations for that conference for like 3 years.
Yes. Yeah, so at that time it was selection was 3 years ahead of time to get the ball rolling so you could get the venue selected, start lining up events, start figuring out all the logistics for what needs to happen locally.
Tell me about your club. I mean, how often do you get together? How many members do you have? What kinds of things goes on at a Bloatarian meeting?
So we have club meetings once a month on the third Friday of the month. We have a probably pretty typical of most homebrew club meetings where it's socializing at first as people are rolling in. Then we'll do announcements, have some sort of technical discussion on some topic for that month. And then after that, more socialization. And so we right now, it's definitely bounced around in the city for where we've had meetings. So at the moment, as you mentioned, for Listerman's, out of your heard, but Listerman's has closed the other year. There was a transfer of ownership, and things just didn't work out with the new owners. But Dan Listerman still owns the building. And in lieu of a new person to either buy the space or do something else with the space, he's letting us use the space for our club meetings right now.
Oh.
So that's been a huge help for us.
Yeah, and it kind of keeps a tradition going.
Yes. A lot of times, a lot of memories of eating grilled burgers out on the loading dock at Listerman's.
And I mean, you said that it was the club was organized in 1987.
Yes.
So that's ancient.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So it was Ray Spangler and Randy Mosher were college roommates, and they started a homebrew club, and that's became the Bloatarians.
Wow, wow, rich, deep history.
Yes. Yes.
Well, primarily we're here to talk about something that goes back almost as far as that, and it's you're in the month of August. You're going to be putting on the 38th annual Beer and Sweat event,
Yes.
which on the face of it doesn't sound very appealing. I got to tell you. But where, talk about the origins of that and what kind of a competition is it?
Yeah, so first, just with the naming, it was kind of a tradition in the club to name different events beer and.
Oh,
So there's a camp out we'd have in September. That was beer and propane. There's one person would have a Memorial Day party and usually would smoke some venison. That was beer and deer. So so this competition is in August, so we called it Beer and Sweat.
oh well, there you go.
So yeah, so that's how I got the name. But it's it's different than most competitions because it's a keg-only competition. So that origins of that is we for monthly meetings back a long time ago. They're just at the end of one meeting. The president says like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, everyone bring a keg to next month's meeting." And then they decided, "Oh, why don't we do a competition this way?" And it grew from that. And it started off as just a normal club meeting and blossomed into this excellent competition.
Yeah, that's I. I was trying to think. Is there another keg only competition in the country?
So I have heard rumors that that we aren't the only one. I haven't found where there is one.
Mm.
So it's the only one that I'm aware of. So it's and we like to say it's the largest competition by volume.
Now, when you get together for something like that, I mean, you talk about organization.
Yes.
This you're essentially putting on a club night every year.
Yes, it is very much like club night. Yeah.
So you could just tack on the homebrew conference onto your event and just just roll forward.
And actually, a beer and sweat was one of the things that the AHA looked at to see that we could handle running NHC because they saw what we were doing for beer and sweat each year and saw like, well, you're doing half of the stuff anyway already annually. So yeah, this could be a good fit.
So how many entries are we talking about?
So it's definitely off of its peak because back in the early 2000s when there's real homebrew peak, I think we'd limited it to 300 entries. Definitely a dip after COVID. We're now around, last year was 130 entries. We're shooting for about 150 this year.
Wow. That's it's still that's a lot of beer.
Yes.
It's and how is it organized? I mean, how is the judging and how is the serving? And talk about walk us into the hall where this is.
Yeah. So the way the weekend works for us is starting on Friday, we start setting things up in the event hall, laying down the plastic tarp, setting up tap stands. So we have tap stands that someone club member built years ago that have hole drilled through that fits the serving tubing, and so then to position everything, and then it's set up so there can be really compact for the way it's set up and really easy to disassemble. But we then start getting that all set up, getting all the labels on the tap stands for figuring out who goes where for entries. And then we get a refrigerated truck that we park out back in the back parking lot. And so then on Friday afternoon, if people are starting to roll into town, because you can't ship a keg and to enter it, you need to come if you are entering, if you're from out of town. So it's you need when you get in, you can head out back, get in the refrigerated truck, so it's nice and cold the next morning. We have a Friday night bottle share to make sure we're prepared for judging for the next day, and sharing all the special beers that homebrewers love to share with whoever they can. So that's through Friday. Then on Saturday morning, we open up the event hall for people to get their stuff set up. So we pull all the kegs out of the truck, bring in bags of ice for the entrance. And then we will provide a picnic tap for you, but that is all we provide. So you need to bring your own CO2. You need to if that's not the type of tap you want to use, you need to bring your own. But we will provide the picnic tap and at least one bag of ice per entrant. Then it's your job to figure out how to set that up, get it so it's all the taps are on the correct tap stand, that they're all dispensing at the temperature and pressure that you want. And that's the morning, getting everyone set up. Then at noon, we start judging. One advantage with this competition is because everyone's coming from out of town and everyone needs to be there, we usually don't have a problem with getting enough judges and stewards. So that's been very helpful. So traditionally, we can get it done in one session, even with the higher entry count. So we'll do the single session and best of show. And then starting at 6 p.m., we open up the doors to the event hall. And then it's people can be sampling any and everything. And then we do awards and a raffle, excellent raffle prizes from our sponsors. And that pretty much sums up the evening.
So how are the beers physically arranged? Are they arranged by categories, or do you judge the beers by the typical categories that you would and say? And this is a BJCP sanctioned event, right?
It is BJCP sanctioned, so we're using the 2021 BJCP guidelines, and all beer, meads, and ciders are acceptable for entries. And we require at least 2 gallons in the keg of whatever it is. So that way there's enough for judging and enough for sampling afterwards. And things are arranged by one brewer will have a spot where all their kegs are. So that way they can hook things up easily and get things. Otherwise it'd be mad chaos trying to get CO2 lines hooked up for everything.
That's a good point. I was thinking, I was imagining, if you're judging or arranging by category, you have your stouts over here, you have your sours over there. But you're right. If people have multiple entries and they're responsible for their own gas and their own setup, that would be crazy. I imagine that was figured out 38 years ago.
One other category that we have that is unique is we have sodas. So soda entries are free. It's kind of our encouragement to get sodas in there. It's nice to have something like that to drink throughout the evening. So it's encourage people to do that. It's easier to do in a keg than in bottling. So fits well with this. Another fun thing about the sodas is we have kids judge the soda entries. So some people will come with their families, and while they're judging the beer, their kids are judging the soda. So it is a different mindset than for what you're making for your soda, because is the goal to win a medal, or is the goal for you to be the keg that empties first during the night?
Oh.
Because the keg that the kids like isn't always the keg that the adults like. So, and there's been some people that have made enter just carbonated water just because they wanted to make sure there was some water for them to drink during the evening.
And I imagine potentially, as judges, kids of a certain age might be a bit more brutal than than their parents in judging.
Spot on. It is. So the score sheets that we have for them, a little bit different geared towards kids. So like for carbonation, we say, does it make your nose tickle? And it from scores are from 1 to 10 on each item. Honestly, I think we could cross off all the numbers between 3 and 8. I don't think they've ever used those. And it's their comments are just spectacular. And I know, at least for us, for most homebrewers, getting some real hearty grilling can be enjoyable in some score sheets. And so like, some of the ones they've commented in the past, one of my favorites was smells weird, tastes weirder.
Yeah, that sounds about right. For a kid.
Yep.
On the beer side, is this kind of a competition? Does it have advantages for some styles over, say, bottling and sending in samples? Are there styles of beer or types of beer that shine in a keg-only competition, whereas maybe in a bottling situation they might not do as well?
I would say so. In my opinion, Hefeweizens do really well there because, in my experience for homebrew competitions, even if there's some yeast sediment on the bottom and you have a huge note saying roll the bottle before you judging, it doesn't always happen. And for this, you can make sure it's exactly the way you want it before you serve it. I think really young beers, some people will wait especially long to brew some entries. So like something that might be like a ordinary bitter or another small beer that or the more delicate ones that are the quick drinking beers, might wait until next week to start brewing or even later. So in under a month from the competition to start brewing and have it really fresh and right there. Also for IPAs, where it can be get it really fresh, even dry hopping in the keg can bring the flavors out that you can't always get from the bottle.
Do you have any casks entered?
We have in the past at times. It's definitely rare, just because the most people I've experienced, I've known that have had a beer engine, use it a few times, then decide it's not worth the effort. And it's we have a couple club members that have beer engines that are old enough, then they can't get parts for them anymore. So that's been kind of an issue. But yeah, I would love to see a cask ale in this competition because that's perfect for this sort of situation.
Now there's some legal hurdles that you've got to get through, right? I mean, because
Yes.
Well, I mean, the beer laws or the liquor laws from state to state, can be crazy in different ways. But what hurdles have you got to deal with on the legal side?
Yeah, excellent question. So for Ohio, for the longest time, we didn't really even have state level homebrew laws. It was all defaulted into just federal level. Um, Really was in the last 5 years, I think it was, that we finally got our own homebrew laws written up for Ohio, and the rules there are you can share homebrew in a private residence, judging for a competition, um, or at a private club function. You can have share homebrew at a place that has a liquor license. However, what you have to do is there's a form to fill out online that's dirt simple to fill out to let them know you're having this homebrew event at this location. Here's where it's going to be. And the venue basically gives up the right to their liquor license for that space for that time.
Uh,
So basically, to separate things out, so they're not trying to sell alcohol while in the space you're sharing homebrew.
hmm.
So for this event, then it's a Holiday Inn Eastgate in Milford, Ohio, which is on the east end of Cincinnati. They just go through and fill out and saying, okay, their beer and sweat's happening this time. It's Bloatarian Brewing League is the club in charge. Here's our license ID. This is the rooms they'll be in, and here's the time frame. And then they just can't sell us anything in that space.
Hmm.
And then we are allowed to have homebrew in that space. So that gets us part way there, but it needs to be a private club function, which means you can't have tons of guests there. You can have club members there, but you can't have the general public there. So our annual dues are $30 a year. We do allow a significant other as part of that. So
Hmm.
you can name one person that's your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, and add them on for that $30 a year. And it's $30 no matter when during the year you pay, and it's good till the end of the year.
So,
So
so in
you,
theory, if I'm not a
yes,
member of the club, if I haven't paid my
yeah,
membership dues, you
yep.
could pay at the door the membership dues, right?
Yes, so you can pay at the door and become a member of the club at the door, and then a membership of the club gets you all the benefits of the club, which is includes the private event, which is the evening events for beer and sweat. So you go in, get your tasting glass, and you're part of the club.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That's a great compromise, I think.
yeah,
Um, uh, I should say that it is, and I'm gonna post this in the middle of July. The delay or the deadline for registration is the 1st of August, right?
yes,
And then
yeah.
the event itself is August 15th. The night before, the bottle share is the 14th, Friday the 14th, but the event itself is Saturday the 15th.
Yes, that's correct. And the other important date is July 24th. That is the last date for the hotel room block that we have at the Holiday Inn Eastgate. It's $124 a night. We have rooms reserved, block reserved for Friday night and for Saturday night. And we highly encourage people to get a room. We have club members just a few miles away. They get a room because it is so much simpler at the end of the night to just walk upstairs, crash into bed, come back down the next morning and clean up all your stuff and then head home. Even if you're doing an Uber, then you have to, if you had an entry, you still have to head back the next morning. And it's just a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really at $124 a night, odds are it's not that much less than if you just do an Uber to the other side of town. So, and then full disclosure, we do get a discount for our what we're paying for the event hall based on how many rooms get rented. It is a huge help for us, so we can actually afford to run the event. It's not cheap to run this kind of party.
Hmm. You mean competition?
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
and what's the deadline for getting your room reserved for that block?
July 24th.
Okay. And what's the website? Where can they find all the information?
So our club website is bloatarian.com. The competition website is we're using BAP Beer Awards Platform. So the competition site is beerawards.platform.com slash 38th dash annual dash beer dash sweat.
Okay.
And on the competition website, there's links to the direct links for the hotel reservation, for volunteering, and then rules and reminders for people coming from out of town, and then to register your entries.
And what's at stake? What do the winners get?
So we do have for first place, we have some Bloatarian tap handles that first place winners will get. It's I'll send you a picture of it if there's anything that you can share that way. But it's a wooden tap handle with chalkboard on one side, and then we have a metal emblem atop of it. That's our Bloatarian logo. So that's the first place prize. And then there are two different opportunities to get your beer brewed somewhere else. So Wooden Cask down in Newport, Kentucky, they will they've agreed to for the best of show entry to scale that up to their 10-barrel batch and brew a batch with the winner.
Wow.
Sometime later in the year as schedule works out. And then Hearth Brewing, which is a newer brewery over in Harrison, Ohio, up on the northwest part of Cincinnati. They're planning on picking another beer from Beer and Sweat. And last year, they were kind of on a time crunch and they couldn't be there for when the Best of Show table happened. So the competition coordinator just says, like, well, if you want to, I can just hand you some glasses. You could just start trying stuff and see if you like something. And they might do that again this year. They might wait for the Best of Show table. Who knows?
Well, that kind of enters it introduces a sort of randomness that maybe if you don't get an award, maybe your beer still gets brewed.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, when we were there in 2008, we toured Mount Carmel Brewing, I believe is just outside of Cincinnati, and interviewed Mike Dewey, the co-owner, and super nice guy. And at that time, they I think were on a 7-barrel system, and they were packaging in growlers only. And so, they had like a 1 growler fill, and their one employee was there filling growlers. The Mount Carmel's still around. I understand that they used to live in that house, but now I think the house is now part of the brewery, but they're still going strong. It looks like. But they were kind of one of the few games in town back then. But things have changed a lot in the craft beer scene in Cincinnati since then, right?
Yeah. So what really helped was a few years after that, Ohio loosened up the laws for tap rooms, because it used to be that you really could only serve beer at a restaurant. Or no, as far as brewing your own beer, you had to have a restaurant too. You couldn't be just a tap room. they changed that so you could have a tap room, and that's when things really exploded. Right now, we have about 60 different breweries in the Cincinnati area. Uh, I know a number I have never actually been to, and just because there's just so many, it's easy to forget.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago we came to Cincinnati for we took our kids to a Radiohead concert, and we stayed across the river, as I recall, and there was a Hofbrau house over there,
Yes.
Which was tasty and delicious. But it sounds like if you're wanting to have a good beer weekend, the August 14th and 15th, attending this event, the Beer and Sweat, and and then maybe come in a day early or stay in a day later to tour around Cincinnati beer wise. Sounds like a great time.
Yes, and there have been multiple people that will make a extended weekend out of it and tour some things on Friday, Sunday, stop by to pick up things to buy before heading back home. And we are willing to give suggestions to anyone that is asking.
Well, it sounds like a blast. And is there anything else that we didn't cover that I should have asked about?
Putting me on the spot.
To me, that's the most important question a journalist can ask. Because, like when I was in TV news, I would interview people and be completely clueless about what I should actually be talking about. And the last question would be, is there anything else that I should ask you about, or is anybody else, anything else that you want to say? And they say, well, actually, we should be talking about something entirely different. So we basically have to start the interview all over again. I don't think I've done that badly this time, but
No.
Is there anything else that's sticking out that you wanted to get out there?
I think you did an excellent job asking questions for covering everything. It's a great event. If those of you that had HomebrewCon the other week and loved Club Night, and you've got a free weekend August 15th, encourage you to check us out and come on down.
Excellent. Sounds great. Good luck with the competition, and y'all have fun, Bryan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again to Bryan. There's a lot of history in that event and that club, and I'm glad that they're still going strong. Sounds like a great deal of fun. If you want to go, don't forget to reserve your hotel room in the special block for the event by July 24th. You'll get a good rate, and you'll be helping out the club with expenses, too. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to james@basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. Please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Our Brewers Logbooks, back in stock. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check them out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. That's all until next week. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voice, and we'll talk to you next time, everybody. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.